Hello guys, let's learn how to work with CSS. Now make a note. HTML codes are not CSS codes because HTML stuff will go with these left and right arrows aside. But the CSS commands are dedicated commands on their own and they can reside in external file. That file will be textual file, but extension will be .css. So that's the one option how you're going to grab those CSS commands. Another option is to have those commands directly in a head section. So we are talking about internal CSS then. And if you're targeting specific tag, HTML tag, then we are talking about inline CSS. So don't worry, we will have independent tutorials for that, but let's roll with dedicated CSS file. Okay, so first let's create one new and let's automatically save it as my style, let's say .css. Don't forget extension, okay? Do not forget extension, that is crucial, and save it in the same directory where you have test.html and that troll, okay, from previous tutorials. And see, in my case everything is ready and set. Okay, so for testing purposes, let's have for now, okay, for now some kind of rubbish here, because we need to import that code, let's say. It's just representation of some code we are going to write. So we need to grab that thing and see it in a screen. So how we are going to do that? Well, go to head section, and this is the place where we will have a direct link to my style.css that we have right now available. So let's type those codes, link, rel. So these things are not something I'm inventing. These things are part of standard, okay? So these commands are in usage in the last 2 decades. Don't worry about it. Style, sheet, okay? Type that exactly as I have, and type of file we are grabbing is a textual file, totally open, and specifically it's CSS. So when you say slash here, that means okay, textual file, but CSS specifically. And this is kind of meta and pretty much generic, but what about link to actually that file? Well, here you're gonna say href, and we will target that my style.css. So this is exactly name of that file. And for simplicity reasons, I said that we will have everything on the same level, in the same directory. In my case, everything is on desktop. In your case, probably you're working maybe with a dedicated folder, but in these examples, I'm just using desktop. I don't know, for some reason, who cares? So right, now when we save that thing and refresh our page, nothing's gonna happen because we don't have CSS activated yet, like dedicated commands. But actually, when you go to view page source, you will have that line, and now it's basically link. It's connection to my style.css. So now when you click there, see, there you go, you have actually some kind of content. Rubbish in this case, but don't worry. Okay, so let's now delete that rubbish and let's roll with actually some useful commands. So let's target whole body section. So we will style, let's say, color for everything, absolutely everything on a page with one command. See, the CSS is very cool because with one hit you will get several targets. So how to do that? Well, we have a couple of special commands, and they are body. So we are targeting body, and then have a little bit of space and use curly brackets. Okay, so every of those characteristics will go into these brackets. So now we are targeting let's say background color for whole page. So how to do that? Well, type background and go to color, in your editor or type it manually, and then don't use equal here. No, this is classical HTML approach. You need the CSS approach. And how to do that? Well, just type that. And after that, let's set actually value, which will be, let's say, light gray. And because this is CSS, you need to end every instruction individually with a semicolon. Okay, guys? That's pretty much it for one characteristic. So now let's refresh and see, will that work? There you go. With one simple command, you have everything ready. So CSS is very helpful. Okay, so what about color of lines? Can we do that automatically? Well, sure. We're gonna use another thing here, color, and all these things are I'm typing are part of CSS standard. So over time you will learn them pretty much all. So don't use equal, use colon here and type, let's say, red. And don't forget to close instruction with a semicolon. And now, there you go, you have automatically a result on a screen. So please note, we are working in CSS file and we are not messing around anymore with HTML file. Okay? So here's a question. Let's go to like normal behavior. The color will be white of background and the color of actually text will be black. So now this CSS will override a situation from HTML. Okay, it will have priority. Now let's experiment with another thing. Let's have individual paragraph here, P, and we need to close it. So let's have some generic text here. Just a second. Who cares? Something like that. So we will not style it in HTML, we will style it in CSS. Well, now when I refresh thing, I'm gonna get just text because I don't have beautification done in a CSS file. So let's do that. How to target this P? Well, you will just say P down there, okay? And you're gonna open section for characteristics. So let me fix this code a bit. Just a second. And here we're gonna again use some attributes like a background color, and let me actually pass that to save a little bit of time. So for every of these tags in HTML you can have dedicated characteristics. So now if we change white to, let's say, I don't know, yellow, and if we change color of text to red, now we will target just that paragraph or multiple of them if we have them, and that will done automatically through CSS file. So let's do that. See, there you go. So if you copy paste this couple of times, you will have instant reaction from CSS file. Let's use that terminology. See, it's excellent. We have it immediately. Right. So next question, what about other headings? Can we style them like individually? Well, yes. So let's do that. We're gonna play around with H3, let's say, and H3 we must close it. So this is H3 level of heading, let's say, something like that. It's really not important. And now it's not styled because in CSS we don't have dedicated section, so kind of default thing from HTML will be activated like a normal HTML stuff, but let's style it through CSS file. Okay, let's target it down there individually, H3, and open these brackets, and let's say that background color and color will be dedicated one. So background color will be a light blue, let's say, and color will be, let me think, I don't know, like navy or something like that. And of course here you can use hex values. And now when we refresh our page, there you go, you have automatically those changes applied. So don't lose your mind about these individual commands, you will learn them over time. It is important to know from this tutorial that you can and you must have this line to grab external CSS file, that one, inside of your HTML. So this line is absolutely crucial if you want to grab that external file you have, CSS file. So let me just write. So if you delete this line, see, you don't have connection to CSS options, and now thing will revert to HTML ways immediately. So this line is absolutely crucial. Okay, guys, I think yeah, so delete this file for testing purposes, create another one, type all these things manually, retype these things manually, and then you'll develop those motorical skills over time. Just practice with this a little bit, and don't worry, okay? You cannot destroy anything here. These are just ones and zeros on a screen. You can go and retype stuff again. So you cannot break anything, trust me. So play around and be happy and listen to ABBA or something like that. Anyway, I need to drink a little bit of water, and this tutorial is more than 11 minutes. And yeah, guys, thank you for watching, and see you in the next tutorial where we will play with internal CSS, okay, in head section, where you don't need to use that line, but that's another story. So see you in next tutorial.